All right, a little bit of breaking news today. We got word of this and wanted to talk with you guys as soon as it happened. There's a reason we put out a video a few weeks ago telling you that this is somebody that Coach Prime should target, and well, it has happened. Colorado lends Derrick McClendon. He is a defensive end edge transfer from Florida State University. He is a graduate transfer, meaning he didn't have to wait for the portal window to open. He didn't. He put his name in prior to it happening, and he commits to Colorado to play for Coach Prime. So much has been made about the transfers and what's going on with that. There's a lot in the media about it. I understand that. But Colorado just got a ton better in the trenches where games are won and on defense where there are a lot of questions. Derrick McClendon is a massive pickup. D-Mac, as he was known at Florida State and will be known here in Colorado, is huge. I am a Florida State fan. You can see the Coach Bowden football, right behind me. You can see all of that. I know about D-Mac. I know how good he can be. I watched him for the last 3 years in Tallahassee. And I'm telling you, this is good news for Coach Prime and his Buffs. Let's look at his stats real quick. 37 tackles last season, 3.5 sacks. He had a fumble recovery, and he started all 12 games. Told you this in our other video, but he played in all 9 games in 2020, and then he played in all 12 games in 2021. He started 12 of 13 games in 2022 and had really good stats doing so. Derrick McClendon will show some highlights on the screen as we're chatting. Really big pickup. I know a lot of people at Florida State were not necessarily thrilled that he would be leaving. He sets the edge really well. Not only does he get after the quarterback, he is phenomenal against the run. And I think that's what Florida State's staff, Florida State's fans are probably going to miss the most. He is certainly going to hurt their depth there on the defensive end. What Florida State loses, though, is absolutely Colorado and Coach Prime's game. McClendon will be very good on that edge. We have talked about 3 or 4 of the edge transfers that have come in, how that room is kind of wide open, can be anyone's to go out and get. Derrick McClendon will have to go out and earn anything that he gets at Colorado, but I'm just telling you right now, he is a guy that can take it to the next level and probably will start for the Buffaloes. He is a very good tackler. He has a great motor. He absolutely gets after it. I wouldn't say he ever anchored that defensive line, but he's got experience playing in over 30 games. He is rock solid as they come, and Colorado picked up a massive addition here today. There is no way to understate that. For all the questions about how many guys Coach Prime is sending to the portal, and how many guys are losing, this is a difference maker. And I don't know how many difference makers Colorado has lost, but I know they picked up a big one today. Another thing that is really big to focus on, another thing that I think he will make known to Coach Prime and to the staff, to the defensive ends coach and our D coordinator here, he wants to be a leader, and he wants to be a big part of the overall plans. I think he wants to mentor younger guys. I think he wants to be considered a leader by his teammates. And I think that's something that speaks to his character, speaks to what he wants overall, speaks to his overall goals. McClendon is a guy that's going to come in and not only make this team better for his 1 year at Colorado, because obviously has NFL aspirations. We'll talk about that in a moment. But he's a guy who will pave a path and set a standard coming from a successful program. You know, he didn't transfer in from just anywhere. He didn't just transfer in from some mid-level program that didn't see or have a lot of success. He transferred in from a program that won 10 games and finished the season ranked in the top 10. And so he went up against the absolute best. Several of those highlights that we were showing were against Clemson and Florida and other premier Power 5 programs within this country. And McClendon had really good games in those games. And so I think that that's something that will be a huge benefit for Coach Prime. Not only what McClendon will do on the field this year, but the legacy that he will leave, the path he will set to let people know, like, hey, this is a place you can come and you can go off and be really good. I think Derrick McClendon can play in the next level. I think he can play in the NFL. I think he needs to go out and ball out this year to do so. I'm not saying that anything's just going to be given to him or he just automatically makes the NFL because he transferred to Colorado. But I do think Florida State thought that if he would have stuck around one more year, he could have been a guy that went and played in the NFL. He needs to go out and ball out. He needs to be one of the leaders on that defense. He needs to be a guy that goes in and gives it all every single day. But I've got confidence that Coach Prime would not have taken him on this roster if he wasn't. And so I think Derrick McClendon is a massive, massive add from a talent perspective. I think he's a massive add just from a culture perspective and a leadership perspective and can really pay massive, massive dividends for Coach Prime. We've talked a ton about different things and the way the program is viewed, confidence in Coach Prime, what we expect from different transfers, where we think Coach Prime is taking this, and it will all sort of crystallize and become crystal clear to not only you guys, the fans, the ones that are cheering Coach Prime on, but also the rest of the world too. There's so much negativity right now with what Coach Prime is doing, even though he told you, hey, this roster that you saw here in spring is not what you're going to see there in fall. We're going to continue to harp on that. We're going to continue to talk about how that was his message. And so you need to give him the time to figure that out and to put those pieces and those things in place. And people question, they were so hyped before the spring game. And then 2 days later, after Coach Prime has some exits, people question whether or not he's the right guy or not. And that's just ludicrous to me because I truly do believe that if Coach Prime knew this was happening and knew this is the direction that things were going, I think he knew that there would be some exits. And with the exits are going to come a huge wave. This is really just the beginning of it, the start of what is coming for Colorado and what we'll see there. There are other transfers that are getting ready to commit and announce, and we're going to keep you updated on all of those. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I had another video that was literally going to come out instead of this one, but had to put the DMAC news out because it was breaking news and want to keep you guys updated. But we've got a really, really good video on Shedeur Sanders. We break down his spring and what we expect for him. So make sure that you're subscribed. You do not want to miss that. This is not the only commit that we're going to have this week, next week, in the near future. There is a lot more coming. Think about how many guys just entered the portal. We're going to need to replace a lot of those guys, if not all of them. We will be back just about every day, it's going to feel like, with how many commits are going to be hitting for Colorado. DMAC is one that's personal because, again, he came from Florida State, a big FSU guy. But make sure that you're subscribed. You do not want to miss that content. We went further into how the spring game was a massive win for Deion Sanders, his staff, and his program. We're not really so concerned with the decommits or the transfers that have happened this week. If you didn't see that video, you definitely need to go check that out. You can do so by clicking right here. Again, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at the prime time for college football. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. We will talk to you soon. Go Buffs.